I want to share this particular story in order to pretty much make sense of what happened to me, and also I think that other people can relate to this. I strongly think so. Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. This is a very touchy part, a very touchy subject that's going to be difficult for me to talk about. However, um, I don't know. I just I just feel that I have to talk about it. A lot of scary things happened to me when I was a kid. Um, as early as 5 years of age, when I was 5 years old. Um, I remember there was times I slept in my bed, and there was times where I slept on the couch. And my grandmother's bedroom was close to the couch. I remember being afraid at certain times. Just like, for example, I think this was during the summer when there was no school. I was afraid of something this is before I had sleep paralysis, and before I had um, this other thing that was also very traumatic. I would see things because of the fact that my grandmother was into black magic and witchcraft. Um, and I remember when my older brother was seeing things, and he was crying, and he was very he couldn't handle what he was seeing. I later found out what it was, many years later, of course. And my grandmother, she would have religious stuff. She would have Roman Catholic stuff. She would have rosaries. She had this poster of religious Christian type of stuff all over the place, all over in her room. And I'm thinking to myself, even after all these years, if she was into evil, diabolical shit, how was she able to have Christian posters and statues of Jesus, or pictures of Jesus? Those that she got from this one place that my family and I used to go to, which was called Holy Hill. And she would have one of those Jesus type pictures where you when you turn it changes color or something like that. I forgot what the material is made out of. And anyways, my brother would see things real scared, and then my grandmother would convince him to go inside her room, and she would use what is called, for those of you who are Hispanic, and those ladies that they're into whatever type of prayers or whatever they do with Christianity, but they combine it with something else, something that's like considered like Santeria or something almost. Oh, I don't know what it was, something to that effect. And my mother was present there because she was really concerned, and he would see these creatures on the wall. But he kept on saying, I see the devil, I see the devil, that kind of thing. And she would take out an egg. She'll make the sign of the cross. My grandmother would do that. And she would put it to his forehead, just in order to drive away the evil spirits and whatever the fuck she was doing. And I would watch this, and she would say in Spanish, whatever, saying Padre, Hijo, Espíritu Santo, and stuff like that, and whatever kind of thing. Now, from what I understand, they say it's supposed to help to remove the evil eye, or I don't know, some kind of shit like that. But she was doing that, and then my brother got worse for a little while, and then he started to calm down. It took a while, but it worked. But I felt that something was wrong. I don't think it went away because even though she was saying Jesus a lot and using sacred prayers from saying the Lord's Prayer and all that. Of course, she was talking in Spanish, but I understood what she was saying. Um, I noticed that even after a while, my brother would have episodes of it. But one time when I was sleeping on my couch, on the couch in the living room, I noticed that I would have these weird dreams, and I would see things flying, coming, detaching from her wall. Some religious stuff that she would have there. They would be flying. She wasn't in the room, but the light was on, even though, and of course the room that I was in was dark, but there was enough light. It was kind of dim, and I saw things moving about, just moving, and I felt a presence there, and I was really scared. And then one came towards me. I forgot what it was, but it was some kind of design or something she had on the wall. But they were all religious. That was the thing. And I got scared, and I buried my face into the pillow, pulled the covers over me, all scared. And there was other times, where I would go in there when my grandmother would go when she wasn't around. She was either in the kitchen doing something or whatever. I remember she was babysitting me and my brother. I was playing with my toys, and I would remember going in her room for whatever the reason, and I felt this overwhelming feeling of, I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was luring. It was luring me in there, and I felt nothing but perversion. And at 5 years old, or almost six, I guess I was almost 6 years old. I was still five. At 5 years old, how the fuck can you get an erection? I got an erection, and I stayed there for a while, and then I left to go play with my toys, and I could not fucking understand back then. Of course, obviously at 5 years old, you don't know what the fuck's going on. And then I would have these images of what she did to me, what my grandmother did to me, and I thought I was dreaming, but I never told my mom about it. I never told my dad. I was too like, they're not gonna believe me, or it sounds crazy, and I don't know. there was something that she did to me, and again, I want to say it in a sense, but anyways, it was very sick, very perverted, and it made me feel guilty in a sense. At least she was trying to program me to think that, in my opinion. I don't know. But her doing things, um, when, like the time when she had the door open and she wasn't decent, and why she never closed the door, and my mom scolded her one time. Says, "Why do you have the door open? They could see you. What's wrong with you?" And then she closed the door and like tried to talk to her. But she thought that my mom dismissed it as like she was just like one of those senile old ladies or whatever. She never really quite understood it until later on she found out, and from what I told her concerning all that sick twisted shit that happened. Um, and then there was this one time, believe it or not, and this is gonna sound a little far fetched to some of you, I don't know, but there was a time where I actually saw a flying saucer, or what you would call, a UFO, and my mom saw it with me, and I was wondering what it was, and I said, why isn't it moving? It's just, and why does it have all these colors? It was a disc-shaped object, and it was really fucking huge. I could even draw it right now too. I could actually draw how it looks like. Um, if I could, I don't know. But I did, and then I had a dream one time, which I thought it was a dream, but it was actually, I believe, in my opinion, it was a flashback. I remember being lifted off the bed and going through the ceiling, and there was this chandelier that I was really afraid of. That chandelier that we had in our dining room, it always creeped us out. And and to correct myself, the couch was in the dining room, not the living room, because of the way the furniture was, whatever. I went up and I went through the ceiling like a ghost. And I remember waking up. I was face down. I was laying on my stomach on this metal table, and I had my head, like this to the side or whatever. I had it to the side, and I woke up on this metal table, and I was completely nude. And then I just kind of like put my, kind of like try to. I looked over and I saw that I was in this big, huge room. I don't know what the hell it was, but it looked like a laboratory kind of thing. And then I heard some noise that sounded like a machine, and then I turned and I saw my family there, my brothers and my parents, and they were in the same position as I was. And there was this giant machine that was over them, putting something in their back. And then they were like out of it. They weren't even, they were like they were asleep. And I got extremely scared. And when it came up to me, I was I was out of fear. I just laid back because I was afraid what would happen if I tried to get off the table. And I remember being poked in the back and I heard like a sounding machine. It was spinning like zzz, something like a I can't describe the sound of it, but it wasn't a but it was whatever it was, but it was a giant machine, and it poked something in my back, and then later on I found out that it was an implant. At least I think it was. I'm pretty yeah, it was an implant. That's what I was trying to tell myself years later. It was an implant. I'm not gonna say what I saw as far as these particular extraterrestrial beings, but what I can say is I saw them, and they were nightmarish ugly, and I mean ugly, but very fucking scary looking, and they were big, and what I noticed was they didn't like the fact that I was staring at them. They got angry that I was staring, especially their eyes, because whatever. They got angry. And I remember being put into a room, and I saw one of them just close the door on me. And I don't know, I was in a strange room, and I don't remember. I just remember flashes here and there of what they had me do. But it was like I don't know what it was. And then I remember being back in my bed, and it was daytime. I can't. I couldn't see the connection between that and what my grandmother was doing. But I do believe, even especially for ever since the 1990s, like 1996 around there, I noticed there was a connection. And I'm thinking to myself, what does the black magic that my grandmother was doing have anything to do with UFOs? With or whatever. What is the connection between these two? I thought to myself. It wasn't until about maybe 5 years ago, around there, where I managed to put the pieces together and what it has to do with how they actually relate. And it was really, really traumatic, and I hated. I pretty much. I hated that house that we were living in back then. Right now it's different. It's already behind me. If it doesn't bother me anymore. The whole thing doesn't bother me. But the thing about it is, what's really overwhelming about this is how these two how they actually are linked together. So I'm gonna do another part explaining more about this. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And to all of you, take care.